The alien warrior stood before him and said, "Meet your son." But he never saw her before. "Meet your son." The alien warrior stood still, her tall frame covered in faded battle armor, her face solemn beneath the twin suns of the dying world. She looked like a statue of war, silent, unmoving, strong. But her voice, when she spoke, carried something entirely unexpected. "Meet your son." Her words echoed in the ruined, wind-blown valley. Behind her, a small figure peeked out from a tattered cloak. A boy, no older than 6, maybe 7, large violet eyes, skin the same strange hue as hers, a head of dark hair, but with a human face. Captain Elias Vorn blinked. He stared at her, then at the boy. I don't know you," Elias said quietly. The warrior's expression didn't change. "You don't remember me," she said, "but I remember you." It had been 7 years since the siege of Trexa Prime. 7 years since Elias's ship had gone down in enemy territory. He had been injured, taken captive for several days before escaping back to his lines. He had only vague memories of that time. Pain, fever, shadows moving around him in a dim cavern. But he survived. The war ended a year later. Peace was uneasy but holding. Now here he was, leading a relief team in the borderlands, helping rebuild what was left. And this alien warrior had just appeared, a boy beside her, and said he was a father. "This is a mistake," Elias said. "I'm sorry." The boy stepped closer. "I know you," the boy said in perfect human standard. "I saw your picture." Elias looked down. The boy held out a thin, weathered photograph, faded from time. A military ID shot. His ID shot. His throat tightened. "Where did you get this?" The warrior answered, "You gave it to me before you left, before the fever passed." Elias searched her face again. She wasn't familiar. Not exactly. But something, her eyes, there was something hauntingly familiar there. "You said I saved you," she said. "But I saved you too. We shared water. I tended your wounds. You were not like the others. You did not call me a savage." He recalled flickers now. A cave lit by glowing moss. A gentle hand pressing cloth to his bleeding leg. The sound of someone singing softly in a language he didn't know. "You were kind to me," she continued, "even in delirium. You told me about your world. You laughed in your sleep. And then you left when you could walk. You never knew." She glanced back at the boy. "You left a child behind." Elias looked at the boy again, at the strange mix of human and alien features. The boy didn't look afraid, just curious. "What's your name?" Elias asked. "Kalen," the boy said. "Mother says I'm strong like you." Elias crouched to his level, heart pounding. Kalen tilted his head. "Do you fight too?" "I used to," Elias said. "Not anymore." The boy nodded seriously, like that was a good answer. The warrior stepped forward. "I didn't come to demand anything," she said. "Only to tell you. He deserved to meet you once. That is all." "You came all this way just to tell me?" "Yes." She turned as if to leave. "Wait," Elias said. She stopped. I don't know how to feel about this," he admitted. "But do you need help?" "Somewhere safe to stay." She turned back slowly. "We survived this long." "Surviving isn't the same as living," Elias said. "Come with us. We have shelter, food, peace." Kalen looked up at her. She hesitated, then nodded. The camp was a collection of makeshift domes and repurposed structures, a haven for survivors and displaced families. When Elias walked in with a scarred warrior and a half-human child, heads turned. Whispers followed. But Elias didn't care. He brought them to the mess hall, got them food, found Kalen a bunk beside other children. The boy adapted quickly. He was bright, fast, curious, always asking questions, always trying to be helpful. He made friends before the sun had even set. But the warrior, whose name was Sarethkai, remained distant. She stayed near the perimeter, watching everything. She still wore the armor, even if she had cleaned it. She spoke little, ate even less. When Elias approached her, she tensed, until he sat down and spoke plainly. "I owe you an apology." She raised an eyebrow. "I should have remembered," he said. "I should have tried harder to." "You were dying," she replied. "There was no reason to expect you would remember the face of one enemy among many. You weren't my enemy." "No," she said softly. "You weren't mine either." They sat in silence for a while, listening to children laughing in the distance. "You raise him well," Elias said. She nodded. "He is everything I have. I taught him to survive. But I cannot teach him what it means to be. Half of you—" Elias looked down. "I don't know if I can either," he admitted. "I don't know what it means to be a father." She turned to him, her gaze sharper now. "Then learn. Slowly if you must. But don't walk away." "I won't." And he didn't. Weeks passed. Elias spent time with Kalen every day, helping with studies, teaching him to play chess, showing him how to fly a drone. They laughed. They argued. They bonded. Kalen soaked it all in. He asked Elias what Earth was like. Asked why his eyes weren't the same color. Asked why he'd never come before. Elias answered each question honestly. "I didn't know," he told him. "But now that I do, I'll never disappear again." Kalen smiled. "Good. You're not so bad." One evening, Elias found Sarah standing alone by the observation ridge, staring out at the desert. "I thought you might leave," he said. "I almost did." "Why didn't you?" She turned to face him. "Because Kalen is changing. Happier. He smiles more now." She looked at Elias. "That is your doing. I think it's both of us." She stepped closer. Her armor was gone. She wore simple clothing now, blending in more with the others. But she still held herself like a warrior. "I do not love your world," she said, "but I would remain for his sake. And for mine." Elias asked before he could stop himself. She looked surprised, then smiled a small, rare thing. "Perhaps." He took her hand. She didn't pull away. Months turned into a year. Sareth became part of the camp. Respected. Trusted. She taught defense classes. She hunted when supplies ran low. And she told stories of her people, their traditions, their strengths. Kalen thrived. His hybrid nature no longer marked him as strange. It marked him as special, a bridge between two worlds. And Elias? He found something he never thought he would. A family, not one built in the way he expected, but real, deep, undeniable. One night, Kalen asked him, "Will you always be here?" Elias looked down at him, heart full. "Yes," he said, "always." The boy nodded, then hugged him tightly. And somewhere behind them, Sareth watched, her eyes warm, her face no longer the mask of a soldier, but a mother who had finally found peace.